Hello, my friends, and happy Thursday. It's a beautiful day. Well, maybe, it's an okay day outside, but here inside, it is a beautiful day. We have an entire forest of Christmas trees, and I hope you want to make a forest of Christmas trees with me. So I designed these this year and they are based on the blue spruce tree from last year. Unfortunately, I don't have the sample. I don't know. I either gave it to somebody as a gift or who knows, maybe I sold it. I'm not really sure. I think it was a gift. But this year, I want to let you know that not only do I think, oh my goodness, all my little trees are falling over. I guess I'm just a bull in a china shop. What can I say? I'm knocking over entire trees, you guys. Crazy. I guess I must be very, very strong. Um, so, so anyway, this is a tree that is related to the tree that started it all. But of course, this year's trees are totally new and improved. So last year, I ran out of my blue spruces because I used a vintage component that, of course, it's vintage. I could not get it anymore. And we are still using quite a few vintage components in all of these until they run out. But I feel like this year I have sort of outdone myself. And I'm not just talking about the number of trees, I'm talking about the actual design. Can you see all of my little trees now? So I'm talking about the design. So what is totally different this year is that despite of me knocking over this entire forest of trees, they can stand on their own. So these, of course, are meant to be a pendant, but they can also be an ornament. However, in the interim between wearing it or putting it somewhere in a spot where they're going to be showcased, you can also just have them on the mantle or have them somewhere standing. And I just kind of love the fact that they can all stand on their own. So I made it a point to make them all freestanding. And I hope you guys like them.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hi, Fonda, and happy Thursday to you, my friend.
She adds, your trees are also beautiful. I can't pick a favorite.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I know it's really, really hard to pick, and I enjoyed making every one of them in a different way. So I guess I'm just going to have to highlight how each one is totally different, and then maybe that will help you pick.
Patricia says, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Patricia, and good evening to you, my friend.
Trudy says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Trudy.
And Althea says, hi, all.
Oh, hi, Althea. I'm so glad you guys are here. And I'm sure a few more friends will join at some point. But in the meantime, this is an incredibly simple project. However, there is just a little bit more to each one of these trees than meets the eye. And what you guys are not seeing are some of the helpful beads that are somewhere inside and you literally cannot see them. And that is why this requires a demo. So here's my plan, ladies. I will make one tree from start to finish. And my thought was, let's just vote on it. You know how sometimes we like to decide as a group because, of course, I don't want to make all the decisions by myself. And Tony, sadly, is colorblind. So, he's probably going to ask me to make a purple tree. And there's no, well, yeah, no, we do have kind of a purple tree. We have the sugar plum. Ta-da! But anyway, I would would love to do this as a community. So tell me which tree you want me to make. But in the meantime, I will tell you that I will be stacking all of the trees so that you can see the order and so that you can see some of the little hidden beads and where they go. And in the meantime, I will tell you so that you can vote. I will tell you, I suppose you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I will just tell you the names of these.
M says hi from New Zealand. Just found you were live.
Oh, hi, Em from New Zealand. I am just so tickled that you have been joining me. That is so nice. Okay, ladies, so here we go. So we are, and yeah, I know, I'm kind of rushing and I'm knocking them over, but here they all are.
Fonda votes for the green one.
Okay, so this is Fonda's choice. This is called First Snow. So for the sake of voting, this is what we'll do. We'll make 1. So number 1 is Pretty in Pink. Number 2 is going to be Starry Night, because this is kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit more magical between that dark silver and white. So I called it Starry Night. So that's number 2. Number 3 is Blue Spruce. The green one, the one that Fonda is voting for, is called First Snow.
Katie S votes for Blue Spruce.
Blue Spruce, okay. I thought that might be popular. And then we have Sugar Plum. So this one is like purple and mauve. And finally, we have Gilded Topaz. And of course, Gilded Topaz is the only one in gold. Everything else is silver-based.
Trudy votes for the green one, and M votes for Blue Spruce.
Okay,
Looks
we
like we have a
have 2 and
tie.
2 so far. Somebody's got to break the tie. So while you're thinking about which one you want me to demo, I am going to, again, I'm going to demo all of them, but only the stacking order, and then I will actually finish one, as in from start to finish. I'm just going to do one because the loop at the top is really going to be exactly the same for every one of them. So I just need a one more vote. Somebody break the tie.
Althea, Blue Spruce.
Okay, ladies, we have a winner. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so we are going to move some of our other little tree friends right here. And we will leave Blue Spruce in the center so that we can demo it. Well, in fact, you know what? Just to keep you intrigued, I'm going to do this one last. But as I said, I am going to stack all of them. And I will start, I guess I'll start with the runner-up. What do you guys think? So we'll start with the runner-up, and we'll do the green one.
I don't know if I said this one, but Lori says hi, Irina, Tony, and everyone, and sends hearts.
Hi, Lori. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for the hearts. I am sending hearts to all of you guys in my heart. Okay, so in the first snow, we actually have a few little vintage components. We have some contemporary components. It's kind of an interesting one. And given that all of these kits are available in the Etsy shop, I always like to warn you if there's going to be anything out of the ordinary. So what I want you to know is that I'm using these very, very old vintage Swarovski marguerites. And some of them are going to be just a tiny bit distressed on the back. This one is a little bit, you see that there's a little corner missing. Not that there's a corner missing, but just the coating, that gold coating. A little tiny bit of the coating is missing. So that may be the case with some of the marguerites, but frankly, once you make it, you will not know that anything is missing. And this is just the function of working with very old beads, and it's exciting to work with these beads. This particular marguerite is from the 1950s. So this is a little piece of Swarovski history. So as I mentioned, I made all of these so they're able to just like stand up on their own. So I'm showing you the base of this and what we're going to have at the base. Well, first of all, we're starting with this very long head pin. And what we're going to have at the base is the asymmetrical rondelle. So this is an asymmetrical rondelle with little rhinestones. And we are going to string that onto our long head pin. And next, we have a white bead. And this is a modern bead. And we need this little bead so that we can stabilize this vintage mother of pearl component. This is an older component. This is back from the time when they actually used to carve mother of pearl on a regular basis. They don't do that anymore because it's incredibly time intensive, and not only that, not all that many people have that skill anymore. So our white bead, once we stack everything, is going to hold on to that. Next, we are going to string our very beautiful and sparkly Swarovski marguerite. And after the marguerite, we have a little, well, not all that little, but this is a bead cap. It's going to give us a little metal glimmer. It's going to break up some of the glass components. And after that, we are going to string this very large AB rhinestone rondelle. Once we have the rondelle, we're going to string this very, very exciting Swarovski bead. This is an old bead, and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely stunning. So this is a Swarovski bead from the 1950s. And after this bead, we are going to have another asymmetrical rondelle. So everything is meant to stack up and really just kind of lay in the right way where everything creates that beautiful shape of a Christmas tree. Then we have our second Swarovski marguerite, and this one is a little one. It's only 8 millimeters in diameter, and both are in peridot.
Lori says, I'm just opening my pretties from last Friday's live. I love everything.
Oh, yay, Lori, that's awesome. Enjoy. I love that you love everything. Okay, ladies, so here we have a 4 millimeter crystal Swarovski bicone, and we are about to put the star on. But wait, there's just a little bit that we have to do before we string our star onto that long head pin. And that step is you're going to find a little baggie like this with 15 O triangle beads. So, you know, this is a very simple project once you have all of the components. The difficult part of the project is just finding everything that is going to create that shape and hold that shape, and make everything fit, and nothing is going to wobble. So that's the hard part. And that is why I use these little seed beads, these 15-0 triangular seed beads. And you can barely tell that they're triangular. So you will probably find about 10 seed beads in a little bag, but you really only need 7 seed beads. And the reason we need those seed beads is because look at this beautiful star. It's literally perfect for the tree design. However, it has a fairly large hole. So if we don't have the seed beads, it's going to wibble wobble. It's going to move like this. However, if we drop it and have the seed beads in the center, so the top seed bead should just be peeking out like that. And so just stop at however many seed beads it takes to fill up the opening in the star.
Kathy says hello, just got home.
Hi, Kathy. Well, welcome home. So I'm glad you joined us, Kathy. All right, so that is the order of our beads for this tree. And again, this is called first snow. So as long as we talked about first snow, as I told you in the beginning, I have 6 designs. So there's only one design that is going to be exactly, well, in terms of assembly. So in terms of assembly, our Starry Night tree is going to be exactly the same, except for the color. And you guys have already figured it out because, well, I know you have. And this time we are using, what is this called? This is like a dark silver color. You know, at this moment, the Swarovski name escapes me. But that's okay, because we're just going to say it's a very dark silver, like silver night, I want to say.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I want to say it's silver night. Although these two are just slightly different, just enough to be interesting. And so this tree is assembled in exactly the same way. So if you know how to assemble first snow, you know how to assemble Starry Night. Okay, we're going to move on. So you remember, I am saving blue spruce for the very end because we're going to assemble it and finish it. Okay, so next, I think it makes sense to look at sugar plum, because sugar plum is going to be fairly similar to first snow and Starry Night. So let's go ahead and assemble that. So first snow and Starry Night only have one kind of seed beads, and that is the little triangular 15-0s. However, if you bond with sugar plum, you are also going to get in your kits a few of the 11-0 seed beads. And so why do we need these 11-0 seed beads? Good question. We are about to find out. This is the big reveal, you guys. I'm looking at Tony. He's acting very surprised. So you just have to use your imagination. So very much like before, we're going to string our asymmetrical rondelle. This is that really pretty asymmetrical rhinestone rondelle. And by the way, I will be showing these tomorrow if you join me for the shopping event, the Friday shopping event. So now this is the same principle. We have that big carved component. This time, this is not a white one, but instead a mauve one. And we're going to drop that right onto our little Swarovski rondelle. And so the rondelle is meant to hold in place our component. So then we are going to drop another Swarovski rondelle. Why? Because in this case, we don't have that domed large marguerite. So we have to have something in between our carved mother of pearl component and the bead cap. Because if we don't have something between those two components, it's just going to be moving around, not in a good way. And we want everything nice and snug as we create this tree. So once we have that on, check out this incredibly cool component. This is like a double asymmetrical rondelle. It's very, very cool. And you guys, I so wish I knew where they came from. We don't know where they came from. They appeared somehow, and there's nothing on the bag. So unfortunately, we can't reorder them because I would in a second. But we have enough of these to make some pretty cool trees. Okay, so now we are going to be stringing the next marguerite, and this is what makes it the sugar plum, this beautiful amethyst marguerite. However, do you see that kind of concave space in the component? So in fact, the concave space is on both sides because it's a double asymmetrical rondelle. So on the bottom side, it is being supported by the domed bead cap. However, on this side, we need something. So this is what we're going to do. Whenever you feel like there's a little space and it needs to be filled, you just drop one of those seed beads. And a few of the kits have those 11 seed beads, and that is their purpose. So when you look at the tree, you certainly don't see any seed beads, and that is because they are the hidden seed beads that are meant to hold everything nice and tight. That's part of the engineering of these pieces. So then we're going to drop another asymmetric rondelle, and this time when we drop the Swarovski rondelle or article 5040, that fits really beautifully into the top of the rondelle, that concave part of the rondelle. So we don't need anything extra. And last but not least, we have another Swarovski bicone. And finally, the star.
Lori says these are so pretty.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. So we have the star, and you already know that the star has that large hole. So you already know that from the previous demo, and I'm not going to put all the little 15 triangles down the hole, but you know that whenever you see the star with the large hole, you need to drop those little triangles because that is what's going to make everything fit beautifully. It's going to make it fit like a glove. Okay, and then we're just going to leave it be for now. Okay, so I'm just going to leave those seed beads there for now. And we're going to go on to the next one because as I mentioned, each one of these is just a little different. So I feel good showing you the order of every one of them so that there are no surprises. So next we are going to look at golden topaz. And golden topaz has this what I think of as a Christmas tree skirt at the bottom, and So part of the engineering is if you put the long head pin through, it doesn't really come through, right? It will stay on, but the hole is kind of large, so it's a little bit wobbly. So I really wanted to stabilize it. So this is only to stabilize the head pin. We are going to use a Swarovski cube. And you know, I'm very fond of cubes, so I'm going to show you. This is the underneath. This is what's found under the skirt. Very scandalous. We're peeking under the skirt of the tree. And so this is, can you guys see the little cube? I know it kind of blends in with the gold skirt, but it's there. Okay, I hope you can see it. And if not, you just take my word. So now we're going to drop the very large bead cap on here, also known as the skirt. And then we have another very, very unusual component, and that is the carved flower. These are so cool. And yes, they are vintage. This is actually a flower that is carved out of glass. Each one is just a little bit unique because they're actually carved by hand. So when you string this over the large bead cap, you're going to do it upside down. I know it's not very intuitive. It wasn't intuitive to me, but it did not sit right when it was right side up. And when it's all said and done, you will not even know that it's upside down once it's on the tree. So it's important that you put it upside down because otherwise it does not really mesh well with the large bead cap. Whereas the bead cap is convex, the flower is a little bit concave, and this way they sit just right. So once you have the flower, we are going to use one of our gold asymmetrical rondelles, and these are rhinestone rondelles. And so after the rondelle, we have a flat gear. However, when you have a flat gear going over this convex component, that is not going to work that great, which is why we're going to open the little bag with this time gold 11-0 seed beads. And we are going to use an 11-0 seed bead. And you know what? If you're not sure which one do I use the 11-0 seed bead on, you have more than enough of the 11-0 seed beads. So just drop them down experimentally and see if you like how it all fits. So the idea of using the seed beads is that it's going to make everything fit that much better. It's like a little hidden component that makes everything sit correctly.
Linda, Kim K says, "Hi everyone. I'm sorry to be so late, but I'm happy to be here."
Oh, hi Kim. I'm so happy you're here as well. So glad you joined.
Linda says, "I'm late too, but love everything I see."
Hi Linda. Thank you so much. So glad you're loving everything, ladies. I love that you joined. Okay, so next we have a lovely little handmade clay bead with a beautiful chocolate bronze luster. And we're going to drop that down. So that's going to sit right over the gear. And we're going to make a little gear and porcelain bead sandwich. So it's going to sit in between the two gears. And next we have the second gold asymmetrical component or rondelle, and we're going to drop that down. So I'm not going to put a seed bead in between the asymmetrical rondelle and the next component because you will see exactly why. You can see that it's a rondelle, it has rounded sides, and it's meant to fit precisely into that concavity. So let's drop that down. And you can already see that it's sitting like a little Christmas tree. It's starting to look like one. So next we have a little topaz square dowel. And again, it is concave on both sides. So it's going to sit really well right over that rondelle. And now we have a Swarovski 4mm rondelle this time. Oh my gosh, and it's very elusive. It keeps trying to run away from me. And so there it is. So you can see it's sitting right in that concavity and everything just fits like a glove. And finally, we have a sand opal. I hope you can see how incredibly pretty this is. I'm very, very fond of all of the opal colors in Swarovski. If I could get them again, I would. But as you guys know, Swarovski no longer sells to our industry. And yes, we could cry or we could just enjoy whatever components we have hoarded thus far. So I have that little Swarovski bicone. And now we are going to use a coated hematite star. So let me point out the obvious. The hematite star does not have a large hole. In fact, it has a very small hole just right to fit on this headpin. So this is it. This is how you stack this one. So there's really no need for the little triangular seed beads. So this is the only star we don't need to fill the hole in. Okay, that's how we stack this guy. And now we're going to do Pretty in Pink. So Pretty in Pink is a little bit different. And I'm just going to take out all these little components and we'll take out the flower component. So in order to make this work, ladies, I had to alter the flower component. I didn't grab one that's not altered, but I mean, you may have seen them before. So this is what the finished Pretty in Pink looks like, and it's a beautiful pink. It's really rose, if you're familiar with the vintage Swarovski rose color. And these components are from the 50s as well, the actual flower component. So it's not something that you can find anymore. And I think they're just beautiful. So this is what I had to do in order to make the magic happen. I took out the center. So just imagine, I mean, I don't have anything to put in it, but just imagine there was a little crystal sitting on here. I just found this amethyst bead, which has nothing to do with the Swarovski component whatsoever. But this is just so that you can imagine that there was a top to this. So just imagine a little tiny Rivoli-like component. And it was sitting here. So it had a flat top. And I said, I bet, looking at the back of this component, I bet you there is a rivet that goes all the way through. And it's like a little tube. So there's probably a little hole in this component. And if I take out the top, I can stack this. So I'm really in this stacking mode at this point because I'm stacking all these trees, and I was so happy with myself when I took out the little center. Okay, so now you know the whole story, and now we're going to stack. So I'm going to put the flower component directly onto the head pin, and then we have that double asymmetrical component. And so we're just going to drop that down. And you know, I don't frankly, oh no, I just remembered actually. I just remembered. So I almost ran amok here, but I didn't. So this is very important. You can't really see it, But it's really important that you drop down this little rondelle, again, Article 5040 Swarovski. So we drop that down in the center. And on top of that, we put this asymmetrical component. And this is the only one of the trees that once I stacked it and before I wrapped the loop, I kind of sat down and pondered it, and I felt that it might benefit from just a little drop of glue between the rondelle and the double asymmetrical component. And you know what? It is just a suggestion. It's really not a must. If you decide to skip the glue, it still works really well. So it's really kind of optional. It's very optional, in fact. Okay, so now you remember you will get a few of these 11O seed beads with most of the trees. So probably it's wise to drop another seed bead right now. So I just did that. And again, it's really experimental. Just, drop it down. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's okay. And so now we're going to put our marguerite on here. And so then if we look at the tree, the next component is another asymmetrical component, and I do have them in multiple sizes. So in some of the pieces you'll see it in a larger size, and some of the pieces you'll see it in this size. And next we have, I'm telling you, I'm so strong. I'm just knocking trees over left and right. I just don't know my own strength. So next we have the 5040, and we had, oh, there it is. So this one, I just wanted to make it really sweet and dainty, so I used a 3mm bicone. And finally, we have the star. And as you already know, whenever you see this star, the star with the larger opening, you're going to want to fill it up with the little 15O triangle seed beads. And that is all of it. So now we are going to move some of these lovelies, and we are going to make the tree that you guys voted for. What do you think? I think it's that time. It's time to make the tree that you voted for, which of course is blue spruce. So blue spruce, I mean, each one of these is pretty unique. We have two that are twinsies, obviously, and the twinsies are First Snow and Starry Night. And everything else is assembled just a little bit differently. So now we're going to get everything for our blue spruce and assemble. Okay, so it's the only one that has kind of an organic stone bead, and that is the lapis bead. Of course, that's the bead that makes it really, really special. So as with all of these trees, we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to string a Swarovski cube on here. So again, the Swarovski cube is only here to help stabilize how our tree can stand. Well, not only how it stands, but actually it helps stabilize the pin, the head pin, that is. Okay, so now we have our tree skirt. Ta-da! And after the tree skirt, we have the largest of those asymmetrical rondelles. And these are, of course, very sparkly and pretty because they have all those little rhinestones on them. Ta-da! And then we have our lapis. And the lapis is a little bit rounded, but you know, because each piece of lapis is a little bit unique, some are a little more rounded than others, some are a little bit more flat. So it's always wise to at least try, if you like it, with the 60 seed beads. And I feel that I really like this better. I mean, I know you guys are not here to play with it, but so my hands are your hands, okay? And I can feel how with the seed bead, it's just that much more stable. So these are 11O seed beads. And then there's a large opening in this lapis bead. So again, let's try and see if we like it better with the seed bead. Will the seed bead actually fall through? So just try, see how you like it. No, it doesn't fall through. The holes on these are going to be very similar. And so what you're seeing mine do, yours will do the same. And then we have the medium size in the asymmetrical rondelle. So we started with the largest one, the one with the clear rhinestones. This one is the medium size with the AB crystal rhinestones. And next, we are going to have the marguerite. But again, try it with one of the seed beads, see how you like it. If it's, you know, if it doesn't fit the way you want it, you can try it without the seed bead. I think I'm going to like it with the seed bead.
Kim K says these are also gorgeous.
Thank you so much, Kim. Okay, so this is the underside of the marguerite. Let's flip it over and we're going to show the beautiful, colorful side. So much better.
Kathy H says they're all beautiful, but I'm leaning toward the golden one. I'm usually a silver girl.
Oh, isn't that interesting? But the gold is so rich, right? Especially like around the holidays. I don't know, it's just, you know, I am very fond of all of these. I mean, you know, they're all my babies in different ways. I'm fond of them. And this one, to me, is the most vintage looking one of them all. So if you have kind of a vintage flair in how you decorate, I think this is a really nice one. It's that very warm color and it's very vintagey. Okay, ladies, so we have the marguerite and we have one more of the asymmetrical rondelles left. And so, you know, obviously we don't want to put anything between those two components because they fit really well together. And if you're just not sure, you can always experiment. And once we have the rondelle, next we have our 8mm marguerite. There it is. And then we have the 3mm light sapphire bicone. And you probably guessed it, I am just about ready to string the star on here. However, before we do that, or after, honestly, there's no right or wrong order. You can start with the star and then drop the seed beads down the hole in the star, or you can do it in the other order. It really does not matter. So I feel like it's about 7 beads, 7 or 8 beads, I don't actually remember. But since you have more than 7 or 8 beads, you can't go wrong. So you can string your beads, drop the star down, and if we have too many beads, we can always take some off. Okay, so there you go. So you can see that top little bead, and I'll take away the 2 remaining beads. And this is the one that I'm finishing, right? And of course, this is not going to be a surprise, guys. You know what? I might even, do I want to take one off? No, I'm just going to leave them all. I like it that one of these peeks out a little bit. And I just realized that I forgot to grab my chain nose pliers, but hopefully I have one right here. So I'm going on a very quick walkabout, and I have all sorts of tools in this office, or this room rather, but not a chain nose.
Right here.
So, oh, did I grab a chain nose?
You did.
Oh, I did. I planned really well, and I didn't even know that. Thank you, Tony. All right, so this is going to just be kind of almost anticlimactic because you guys have all made a schmillion of wrap loops. So I'm just going to review how to make a wrap loop. I just made a 90-degree angle, and we are going to use a round nose pliers. So I did that obviously with my chain nose pliers. So now I'm using the round nose pliers, and you can just decide what size loop you're making. You can go a little larger, you can go a little smaller. My loop is about 4 millimeters. And so once I make my loop and my wire is at a 90-degree angle again. So 90-degree angles are always our friends when we make wrap loops. So now I just align my chain nose pliers with the wire. They're completely parallel. And that is how we're going to make a really nice wrapped loop. And we're just going to wrap into that little space that we left by hand, however many coils we can get in there. That is how many we're meant to have. So if you have a slightly larger opening, you may have more. If you have a smaller opening, you may have less. And once you have filled that opening, I just undid it a tiny little bit. I don't know if you saw me unbent the wire, just a hair. And this is just so that it's easy for me to get in there with my cutter. And once I cut off the excess wire, I am simply going to tuck in the tail, and that's it. We just made our blue spruce pendant or ornament, you decide. Ta-da! And here is what it looks like when it's standing. So you can see a slight difference in sizes. I'm hoping you guys can see that, right? Tony is saying just a tiny bit. And so I'm just saying that they may vary a tiny little bit. So now we're going to build our little forest of trees again, just because I like playing with my trees. So what do you think? Do you have any questions regarding any of the trees? All right, so there is our magical forest of sparkly little holiday trees. And of course, they're available in the Etsy shop, as you, I'm sure, have already guessed. So in the meantime, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to move on. So please let me know.
Lori says, I love these, and she sends a forest of emojis.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. I'm a big emoji user. Sometimes I send my family messages just entirely in emojis. Okay, so, well, I'm so glad you guys bonded with my trees. So, while you're picking out your favorites, I will move on and tell you about some of our events coming up. Well, first of all, very importantly, we are having a big Etsy shop sale. So we have the Etsy shop. This is where we have all of our fun little trees and other kits and various featured items. So in the Etsy shop, we're having a huge sale on gemstone, on some of the kits, some components, fairly diverse. So please check it out. And it's a good sale. It's 30% off. And it's like over 400 items. And then tomorrow, I hope you join me. So this is my preview here. Well, can you guys see it behind the trees?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So tomorrow I'm doing a shopping event. And this is, of course, November 15th. Oh, I can't even believe that tomorrow is like halfway into November. I don't know how that happened, but time does fly when you're having fun.
Trudy says they're all pretty.
Oh, thank you so much, Trudy.
And Kim says love them.
Thank you so much.
And Linda is wondering, does the pink flower come in a green also?
No, sadly it does not. You know, many years ago, we did have it in a green. But I mean, I'm talking about, we actually acquired these components. They're, as I said, they're vintage Swarovski components. And I know I told this story a few times when Tony and I would just drive out to the East Coast and we would go and pillage. Well, maybe not so much pillage, but we would go and buy up all these warehouses that were going, you know, this was a very interesting time in American jewelry history because this is not, a lot of people know this, but Providence, Rhode Island was the capital of American jewelry manufacturing. So a lot of those jewelry houses were in Providence and some were also in New York. So we would just run around the East Coast, mostly Providence and New York, and scavenge for cool, interesting components. And when we found them, we would buy the whole thing. However much there was, we would just buy it if we liked it. And so that is how we kind of ended up with this very interesting monopoly of vintage beads for a very long time. And so now of course, we don't have as much vintage as we did 30 years ago when we did all of this. Wait, was it 30? Well, it's not quite 30 years, but close. It's close to 30 because we've been married for 29 years now. Have we? Yes, we have.
Good job.
Good job, thank you. You know, sometimes I have to figure it out. You know how sometimes you have to figure out how old you are? I always have to do that. And it's 25. So anyway,
Carry the one.
I know I don't know how it works out that we've been married for 29 years, but I'm only 25, but somehow it does. So anywho, also one of my kids just turned 26. I'm totally digressing, ladies. This is where I'm going. We sadly no longer have the green component in the Swarovski. That was my very long-winded answer to your question. So tomorrow, I will be featuring 2 sets of very diverse groups of components and beads. So the first group is going to be everything holiday. And I know you guys have been asking me to feature the various components that I use for trees and snowman, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So tomorrow I will be featuring some really fabulous rondelles, very fun and sparkly, mostly in crystal AB and reds, you know, for the holidays, of course. I will also be featuring some beautiful bead caps and some various body parts for snowman of your design. And of course, I'll have some samples. Tony's laughing at the various body parts.
That's such a weird way to describe it. It's funny.
Well, there's the head of the snowman, then there's the middle. I mean, snowmen, unlike us, they have very different anatomy.
They do, indeed.
They do. Even though, okay, so I feel like this is appropriate. This is, these are cocktails, but I'm only showing them to you so that I can have a segue. I did not have any cocktails. I'm just goofy naturally.
Lori says, I love you guys. Such a great sense of humor.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. We love you too.
Lorraine says, I love your trees and sends a heart.
Oh, thank you so much. We love you guys. You are our bead family. We hope to meet all of you someday. Okay, so I'm still talking about tomorrow. So we'll have some very holiday-related components, as in holiday project-related components. And I'll have lots of samples. But then I also picked out a selection of luxurious beads. And this is one of them. This represents my luxurious collection. So some of you may have seen, some of them may be new. And so I will be featuring turquoise, spiny oyster, garnet, emeralds, what else? A little bit of Larimar. So just some very fine, very beautiful gemstone strands. And just a few pendants. And that is my plan for tomorrow. And then, but wait, there's more. So I have mentioned my drinks. So remember how I'm your holiday bartender, but only when it comes to earrings. So I am, okay, it hangs so much better on your ear than it does on my hand. But I designed a whole new little collection of holiday earrings, and this year they're totally blingy. I tried to do that the year before, but it did not have the right components. And so I figured out how to do this so the rondelle does not fall through, because the rondelle does have a larger opening. And so I'm really so happy having figured this out. So these are just some of my cocktails, and there will actually be more cocktails Sunday, the 24th. And yes, I did not misspeak. This is actually going to be on Sunday, the 24th, because I have something going on next Thursday. So unfortunately, there's no video next Thursday, but I hope that you join me on Sunday, the 24th, November 24th, that is. And we are going to make all sorts of very, very festive earrings. And this is going to be at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Kim K says, I'm teaching tomorrow, so I'll have to watch the shopping event on replay again. Thanks so much for sharing.
Oh, thank you so much, Kim.
And she adds, love your cocktail earrings. I made a pair for my 3 daughters last year.
Awesome. And I have so many new cocktails this year. And again, I'm designing them so that they're incredibly blingy this year. So here is my grasshopper. And we have not yet had mulled wine. So this is mulled wine with a little orange. You know how you decorate it with like a little orange or a little orange peel. And although this could also be sangria, and because we do have Santa Claus Neapolitan, but that's a different one. And that is also red. So anyway, this is what we're doing. Sunday, November 24th. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we forgot Julie Nordeen's absolutely.
Right
no, you did grab them.
Yeah,
oh,
I did grab
yay,
them.
Thank you so much, Tony.
And
Tony's awesome.
Lori says, I need to make these.
Oh, the cocktails? Yes, you do. absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love making these earrings.
Katie says, ooh, love the swirl ball.
Oh, the ornament. You like the ornament. Thank you so much. Yay.
Fonda says, Irina, you've made spiders, trees, snowmen, and New Year's drinks. Now you need to come up with turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Oh, turkeys. You know what? I'm sure I could do a wirework turkey, but it's very, very involved. So I don't know that that's going to happen. Maybe someday we'll find a really cute little turkey bead. Who knows? So anyway, ladies, so this is very exciting. And so I'm going a little bit out of order, but this is next Friday's video. And I had to do a little preview because Julie Nordine is such a talented artist. She is amazing. I have been seeing her in Minnesota for several years now, and every time I see her, she has something new and so wonderful. But you know, one of her staples are these magnificent acorns, and I love her acorns. Each one is different and so unique. They're lamp work, but they're also electroformed, and they're just so beautifully designed and executed. They have so much soul. They're fantastic. So that is next Friday. And she's also not only a lampwork artist, she's also an amazing silversmith. Well, this is not silver, this is copper. It is two-sided. Can you guys read? This says serendipity. So some of her oak leaves have these beautiful words on them, but wait, there's more. They're two-sided. So she etches them. I mean, they're just lovely. They're so beautiful. And that is our plan for the next couple of weeks.
Lori says, I have people that would love these, the cocktail earrings.
Oh, yay. Thank you, Lori. You know what? At holiday time, we go through so many of these cocktail earrings, and every year, I feel like every year I've made them different, and this is the year of the bling. So everything that I'm designing this year, cocktail-wise, is going to be so blingy and holiday-ish. And that is, of course, I mean, there's only so much bling you can do, but that is my rondelle at the bottom, the you know, I don't know, what do you call this part of the glass? The foot? The stem. No, this is the stem. The base, thank you. So all of the bases are really fun and sparkling.
Em says, wow, those acorns are gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful.
Fonda says, love the acorns. And Kim K says, those acorns are precious.
Thank you. On behalf of Julie, I thank you because, you know, Julie's kind of very quiet and unassuming, I would say, and her work is so stunning. That woman is so talented. I love these acorns.
Kim K says the base in regards to the cocktail earrings.
Yes, thank you so much, Kim. I could not think of it for a second.
Lori is wondering, will the beads for the cocktail earrings be sold in the strand?
Oh,
we can take a look.
No, I think it's a bit too late because we have already cataloged everything that is going to tomorrow's video. But what we can do is maybe one of the next videos, if that is your suggestion, if that is something you would like to see, we can make that happen. We don't have all the colors at this point, but we can see what we have and make that available. In the meantime, you guys asked for the blingy rondelles. We are having that tomorrow, but wait, there's more. You guys have also asked for the straight memory wire in 6-inch segments. Remember, we had a vote, and so you said 6-inch segments, so we're making that available tomorrow. So I just want you guys to know that I take your suggestions very seriously. as seriously as I can. So we will most certainly have those tomorrow. And if you have other suggestions, please don't be shy. I love your suggestions. So let me know what your dream is, what you would like to see in these videos, because I want to be your shopping event online bead store. So that is sort of what I'm trying to do. Whatever it is that you want to see, that is what I want to show you. And that, I believe, is all for today. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much for your orders. Some of you have been ordering the trees already, and I hope you enjoy them. And join me tomorrow for the Friday morning marketplace. So I believe that's all for today. And again, thank you and have a lovely and creative evening.